Hello there, Steve-Os, and welcome to Steve's Movie Wrap-Up Episode 2. So we're going to go through all the movies that I've watched over the last week from the 14th of October right up until the 21st of October 2023. Now, first of all, I do want to say thank you for joining me. If you do enjoy this video, please hit the thumbs up button down below. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below as well. Keep it clean, keep it positive. And if you are new around here and you want to become a Steve-O and see more fantastic content from me, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below as well to become a Steve-O. Now, we are going to start off with the 14th of October, and I began with the movie Haunting of the Queen Mary, which, by the way, I'm sorry to begin this this video off with a very negative review, but I did watch this film and I gave it a half-a-star rating over on Letterboxd. So my thoughts on this film was, wow, I've got to throw my hat off to Mark Zuckerberg. He gave me an advert of the worst horror movie that I've ever watched in my entire life, not just for 2023. That's right, folks. I only discovered this movie through an advert on one of Zuckerberg's meta apps, and the trailer intrigued me to give this a watch, especially as it was classed as a horror. But as for the horror, there wasn't a lot of it, and even when there was, it was just shockingly terrible. As for the actors and actresses in this movie, and I'm not just talking about the adults, I'm talking about the kids as well. The acting in this was absolutely god-awful and terrible. The acting was so bad in this that the acting alone was the horror in this so-called horror movie. Is this a film I'm going to remember I've watched in a few months' time? No, it won't be. I have already forgotten this movie existed. I've already forgotten that I've watched this movie. If you want a horror movie that involves a ship, then I'm going to say The Last Voyage of the Demeter is probably the better movie to watch than this. Also, the script in this was rather clunky and just made no sense at times. You had characters talking over others when they were speaking, which made no sense to me at all. It just felt like a really long, terrible episode of American Horror Story. I don't recommend anyone to watch this, and I hope and pray that this review has saved you the time and bother to watch this 2-hour piece of trash. And I should also probably point out, this is the last time that I decide to watch a movie that has been advertised to me through Mark Zuckerberg that I have never heard of or never knew existed. Now, the next movie I watched was over on Netflix, and it's something that I've actually rewatched quite a few times actually over the last couple of years, and it's titled The Babysitter. Since its Netflix debut, and since I discovered this little hidden gem of a movie, I've probably watched this movie either twice or 3 times at least, this now being my 3rd time watching, and I still enjoy it so much. I think the acting in this is pretty decent from all involved, and even some of the comedy jokes in this as well land pretty well, even when I have rewatched this as well. The soundtrack for this movie is pretty awesome as well, especially love the use of Queen's We Are the Champions song in the final act of the movie, and also loved how it set itself up for a potential sequel, which did get made. But really, great film, and if you have a Netflix account and have never seen this one before, then I do recommend watching it because it's such a great film to watch. I did give this film, by the way, a 3-star rating over on Letterboxd. The next movie that I did see was the sequel to The Babysitter over on Netflix. It was The Babysitter Killer Queen, and I gave this movie a 2-star rating. This is the 2nd time that I have rewatched The Babysitter Killer Queen since its debut a few years ago on Netflix. And while it isn't as great as the first Babysitter movie, but it was still watchable and still somewhat enjoyable. You do. You also have a packed cast with Jenna Ortega starring in this movie, alongside Samara Weaving, who is somewhat in this movie. She was very more prominent in the first movie, can I just add. And we also have Emily Allen Lind too. Fun fact about Emily, actually, is she has a younger sibling called Olivia Allen Lind, who plays Lexi in the TV series of Chucky. I thought her last name was rather familiar until I searched her name under Google. So yeah, I did actually think, because it was only a few weeks ago actually, I was looking at the cast for the TV series of Chucky, and I saw some of the actors and actresses and stuff, and when I saw the cast listing for the Babysitter Killer Queen, I had a feeling that Emily Allen Lind was... her last name was kind of recognisable, but I didn't know where. So it was only until I searched her name under Google that I found out that her younger sister plays Lexi in the Chucky TV series. The next movie that I've watched, and it's actually a movie I've been wanting to watch for quite a while earlier this year actually, is a movie called Hypnotic. Now, I gave this film a 1-star rating. I'm only giving this movie a 1-star rating just for Ben Affleck, and Ben Affleck only. The movie Hypnotic didn't hypnotise me enough to enjoy this movie, to stay fully engaged with the movie. It was also directed by the same guy that brought us the Spy Kids franchise, Robert Rodriguez. Honestly, I'm glad I streamed this at home, because a few months ago I saw the trailer for this in cinemas and it did intrigue me to watch this. Luckily, I'm glad I didn't watch this a few months ago at the cinema, because this film isn't great. It's very sluggish, very unoriginal, and also it felt like a rip-off to Christopher Nolan's Inception as well. There was even one scene in particular that I recall which honestly looked like the writers took the idea and copied and pasted it from Inception to this film. Not a great movie. It's still somewhat watchable though, so if you're looking to watch Hypnotic, I'm going to say that you should lower your expectations to this movie. The next movie that I watched was Retribution, which I gave 1/2 a star over on Letterboxd. Now, before I do go into this review, I just want to say now, I can promise you, there is some movies here which are more than 1-star, 2-star, 3-star ratings, okay? Just give me a minute to get through all the bad ones first. Let's go on to Retribution then, and Retribution, 1/2 a star rating. A movie with a 90-minute running time about a man who has a bomb threat in his car and also has a very deep, sinister voice on the other end of the phone. This sounds like something that has been done before. Maybe it has, but honestly, this movie for me was terrible. Was I on the edge of my seat? No, I wasn't. Did I find any of the scenes in the movie suspenseful? I didn't. Liam Neeson couldn't even save this movie for me, really. It's just my honest review. You have no idea, by the way, can I just add, how much preparation I've just had to do this next part of the movie wrap-up video for this week. I've not even put the poster up yet on the screen for you guys to see, because, well, quite frankly, I have the poster right here. Yeah, that's right. This is the next film that I went and watched in the cinema. Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour. Obviously, I've got to review this film, haven't I? It's just a must. Anyway, I'm going to take this down, okay? Because otherwise, my arms are gonna hurt for a long time if I'm holding it up like this. So I'll put the digital poster up on screen. But also as well, grab your popcorn bucket right here. Look, there we go. Look, Taylor Swift Eras Tour. Yeah, there we go. Look how nice that is. So yeah, I got the popcorn bucket as well. I literally went all the way out for this movie, can I just say, you know, like, we've had some really good popcorn buckets and stuff like this year. For example, we've had one for the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which I really wanted to get, but sadly I didn't get it because the popcorn buckets had sold out. But you know what, right, I'm so glad that I got a popcorn bucket of the Eras Tour movie, because, yeah, you know. Oh, and also as well, grab your drinks as well, because yeah, look at this, yeah, there we go. Look, some Taylor Swift content there. Yeah, grab your drinks, grab your popcorn, because I am about to talk about the Eras Tour concert movie by Taylor Swift. Now, obviously, do you want to guess what rating I gave this movie on Letterboxd? Do you actually want to guess? You know, I mean, look back at last week's episode of my movie wrap up, and I watched the Reputation tour movie on Netflix last week, didn't I? How many stars did I give that movie last week? Was it 5 stars? I think it was 5 stars. Well, guess what, everyone? No surprise. This movie gets the rare 5-star treatment from me yet again. That's right. It gets the rare 5-star treatment from me over on Letterboxd. And I can promise you now, okay? I know for the last 2 episodes that I've done, we've had a couple of movies that have had 5-star ratings. But I can promise you now, it's very rare for a movie, for me, on Letterboxd to get 5 stars, okay? But let me talk about the Taylor Swift Eras Tour movie, okay? First of all, this was cinema. It was. And it's time for me to say it again. 1, 2, 3, let's go, bitch. That's right, another review of a Taylor Swift concert, and it's been given the rare 5-star treatment from me on Letterboxd again. Shall I safely confirm it now? I've got to apologise to Mario, because at the start of the year, his movie was at number 1, then Barbie came along, which meant he went down to number 2, and now Taylor came along and put out a cinematic movie. He's now dropped to number 3 of my top 20 movies in 2023 list. Also, sorry to Barbie and Margot Robbie for putting her movie in 2nd place now. I had a really enjoyable time with this film. This was everything I could ever ask for from a Taylor Swift concert. Yeah, I still believe that I am living an alternative reality, and in the real world, Taylor Swift doesn't exist outside this simulation that we appear to be living in. Either way, I don't want to call it quits in this simulation that we're all in, because I freaking love Taylor right now. I have done for the past 9 years, but she's just become a global phenomenon, an icon, hasn't she, in recent years. Having a popcorn tin, the Taylor Swift cup, and a movie poster at the end of the film made my movie experience even more enjoyable, and I will also say that her transition from Don't Blame Me to Look What You Made Me Do during the Reputation era part of the film, oh god, I want to see that on repeat over and over again. Also, her performance of vigilante shit too. I felt rather hot under the collar watching her on stage dancing around a chair. I've never wanted to be a chair until now. At least I can safely say that Taylor Swift has sat on me. Anyways, to wrap up this rather lengthy review of this movie, if I had the opportunity to see her in concert in person, it would be an absolute honour and a privilege, but her outfits for all her eras she performed in this movie were so elegantly beautiful and stunning. She honestly looked like a princess at times. If this gets a digital release or a streaming release at some point in the not too distant future, then I would happily buy this movie to keep, or stream this movie and rewatch it all over again. I want to say thank you to Taylor for making this movie, for making it possible for nearly every single fan of hers to watch the concert, regardless whether they're yet to see her on tour or not. As a Taylor Swift fan, it was amazing to see the crowd in the cinema go crazy at times for some of the songs she played, and never in the 5 years that I've been going to the cinema independently did I ever think that one day I'll be in a cinema screening watching a movie whilst having a boogie or vibing in my cinema seat. And the day that I went and watched that film was the day that happened. You know, and I cheered and I screamed and said, this was cinema. And I even got up at the end and went, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so there we go. So that is my thoughts on Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour concert movie. Just before I move on to the next film that I watched, I do want to say that apparently there's been a kind of like a listing on Prime Video for the Eras Tour concert movie. There's some speculation to say that it's going to be released on Amazon Prime as part of your subscription. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's more of a listing for it to be released on digital to buy and rent at some point. I do know that there is a deal in place that this movie can't be released on digital for the next 12 weeks. So I'm probably going to say early 2024 is when this film will be available on streaming to probably either buy or rent. I mean, who knows, maybe it might be available on Prime Video as part of your subscription. But either way though, in 12 weeks time, safe to say that I will definitely be getting this movie to watch over and over again for sure. Now the next movie that I did watch was Once Upon a Studio. Now I gave this movie a 4-star rating over on Letterboxd. Firstly, I want to say a happy 100th birthday to Disney. And secondly, I want to say thank you to Disney for making my childhood so magical. There is so many timeless classics that still to this day I go back and watch from time to time over on Disney Plus. But I will always remember, even as a child, watching Disney movies on VHS or on DVD. This little short film was a celebration of Disney's 100 years of animation, and this was absolutely beautiful. There was a little part of me that teared up when Mickey saw the photo of Walt Disney, the founder of Disney, on the wall and said thank you to him. That was such a sweet little thing. I thought bringing in most of the classic Disney characters from the past 100 years was an amazing idea, and here's to another 100 years with Disney continuing to tell their stories and continue to inspire many generations of children and adults to come. The next movie that I watched is actually a nursery rhyme turned horror movie called Mary Had a Little Lamb, which I gave a 1-star rating. What can I say about this movie? Well, I rented it for £3.49. The film itself wasn't great, which I was expecting. It's a horror movie based on the old school nursery rhyme of Mary Had a Little Lamb. Some of the scenes in this movie I found to be quite dark, as in I couldn't see the damn scene because it was just too dark to see what was going on. I'm only giving this movie a 1-star rating because I appreciate what they were trying to do with this movie. From one old school nursery rhyme to another old school nursery rhyme turned horror movie, Three Blind Mice. Now, comparing this to Mary Had a Little Lamb, I gave that film a 1-star rating. This one, however, I gave a 2-star rating. From the same people that brought us Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and Mary Had a Little Lamb, we have another old school classic being turned into a horror movie titled The Three Blind Mice. This had some of the actresses and actors in this movie from Blood and Honey, including Natasha Tosini, an actress who I only met a few weeks ago at a Comic-Con convention. I thought she was good in this movie. I also thought the actress that played Abigail, the main character of the film, played the role pretty well. All I can say is this film had better lighting than Mary Had a Little Lamb. Therefore, I could see the scenes a lot better in this than the previous movie I watched. And also thought the character kills and deaths were much better in this than Mary Had a Little Lamb. Therefore, that's why I'm giving this movie a 2-star rating. The next movie I watched was Unseen, which I gave 3 stars over on Letterboxd for. So this still remains as one of the hidden gems that I have watched this year. It's an MGM Plus original movie, but it's really fun and intense at the same time. I've probably seen this movie 3 times this year, and even on the 3rd watch, I still enjoyed this movie. If there is one movie that you'll probably enjoy this year, it's likely to be this one, because I thoroughly enjoy this movie each time I watch it, despite the rather short running time of 1 hour and 20 minutes. It still paces itself really well, and there are some moments where there is light humour in this as well. I love the bonds between 2 random strangers over the video call as well. I thought the concept was rather good for the movie. However, one of the main characters is trying to get away from her abusive ex-boyfriend, while the other is working at a gas station, which she doesn't really enjoy working at. There are some moments of the movie which are also heartfelt, which I really enjoyed as well. And the final movie that I watched this week, which I gave 2.5-star rating over on Letterboxd to, is the movie Sick. While this movie will give you pretty much a lot of reminders about the COVID pandemic, I still was intrigued to give this one a watch about a year ago when it came out. And did I enjoy it? Well, I did during some moments, yeah. And my next question is, did I enjoy it on my second time watching this? Well, my views are pretty much the same as the last time I watched it. While we were first introduced to this guy at the very beginning and followed him round for the first 10 minutes of the movie, his demise didn't really make much sense, to be honest. To me, it looked like they were trying to rip off the opening sequence to a Scream movie or something, or they felt the need to do something that was horror cliche at the beginning of the film. I did enjoy one particular death scene though, which was done halfway through the film, which to me I thought was rather creative. The movie is available to watch now over on Now TV here in the UK for those who want to check this one out. And that is all I've got time for today's YouTube video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. And feel free to hit that subscribe button to become a Stevo. Your next YouTube video will be out tomorrow, Monday the 23rd of October 2023, which is my weekly vlog. And also as well, I should point out that there is another video coming on Wednesday this week as well, which is a gaming review of a brand new video game that's recently been released. I'm going to talk more about that in the vlog that's out tomorrow. However, your next movie wrap-up video will be out on Friday this week, Friday the 27th of October. Again, usual time of 4 PM UK time. But until then though, it's goodbye. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys again in my next YouTube video.